This week on Hooligan Nation, the Hooligan Nation first annual KISSmas special. We have special guests. We have collectibles. And we go back in time to when I almost set myself on fire. And we have Santa Claus here with us.
Ho, 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 ho.
Stay tuned, because you got
Nothing to lose.
You wanted the best. Well, they retired. So you got two dudes in a garage.
Talking Kiss.
Welcome back to Hooligan Nation, and welcome to our first annual KISSmas special. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Rocco. Clark Griswold.
Clark, well, with that hat on, you look like Santa Claus. With the hat and the gray beard, I hate to break it to you, but you look a lot like Santa Claus.
It is what it is. I have a lot of grays these days.
And I hooked you up because I gave you the Christmas tree, and I took the menorah.
And I appreciate the Christmas lava lamps you got for me for Christmas. Thank you.
You're welcome. I got you more than lava lamps, but you're blocking it. I got you your favorite guitar. Did you not note there's your favorite guitar?
Oh, that's the glass one from Paul Stanley?
Uh-huh.
Oh, and I got to be blocking it. Figures. Oh, well. Sorry, guys.
Hey, if you want us to pause the recording, you can go move that.
Well, I'll shimmy. See if you guys can all see it. I'll shimmy.
Oh, I see it. I
All
see
right.
it. Look at that.
Yes, I always love that guitar.
The Ace Washburn. You got the Gene Simmons Act.
Are you trying to just get me to shimmy?
Well, I have to admit, it does help.
Ho, ho, ho.
When it comes to trailers, it does help.
Okay.
All right. People actually think that I make you do the stupid shit that you do.
Nah, it's just the way I am.
I have nothing to do.
I wish
with
I
it.
could defend it, but I can't. It's just who I am. If it's entertaining, I love to entertain, so it's all good.
Oh, well, you're entertaining as hell. Yeah, folks, we don't really know what we're doing today. We've had all kinds of audio problems, some video problems, a little bit of green screen problems. My water's warm and my ass hurts right now. So we're just going to...
Don't know where to go with that.
We're just going to wing it as much as we possibly can.
But it is a Christmas special, so everybody, Merry Christmas or Merry KISSmas.
Merry KISSmas.
KISSmas.
Not Christmas, it's KISSmas.
I caught it after I said it wrong.
So what we got planned today is we have 5 listener videos, and we gave them a set of questions to answer. And for full transparency, of course, no one would send any videos. So they're all people that we know personally that we had to personally ask to do the videos. And
it's much appreciated either way. We appreciate it.
You got to start somewhere, I guess. So before we get to that, you got any news?
I do. And it's actually pretty neat news. If you are listening to us from Florida in Sarasota area, there's a fundraiser. They did it last year. It was only a 1-day event. This is a 3-day event. It's called Kiss Cancer Goodbye. Your featured people are Bruce Kulick and Eric Singer. It's actually really neat. If you go into the website, it's under Creature Fest, Kiss Cancer Goodbye. There's a lot of different things, a lot of different artists that are there. There's a meet and greet with Chris Jericho, Anton Fig will be there, and a lot of other artists. And they have it broken down by events by day. So the first day they have Anton Fig, and he's doing an Unmasked and Dynasty Revisited thing with, I would imagine, with a full band. But he's kind of the lead dog in that one. And on day 2, the Elder, I'm not joking, the Elder performed for the first time. I mean, obviously not with the original 4, but they're going to be performing the Elder on day 2. Day 3 is going to be a salute to the music of Fraley's Comet. So there's a lot of different things, interesting things there. There's some VIP stuff in there. It's actually I did get some ticket info. If you got general admission, it's $59. VIP starts at $159, and there's all kinds of other perk things that they have available. And again, it's all going for a good cause to Kiss Cancer Goodbye. So that's the news that I have. It's December 6th through 8th, and it's in Sarasota, Florida.
Cool. Want to go to Florida?
I do. I really, if we were living in Florida, there's no way we'd miss that event. That sounds really cool.
So I got a little news. I was searching for just things to look at, and I kind of stumbled across Paul Stanley's X account, formerly Twitter. Why we have to change it from Twitter to X, I'll never know.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
But since Elon is the richest person in the world, I'm pretty sure he can do whatever the hell he wants.
Oh, yeah, I know he can do it pretty much.
But I thought this was kind of cool. We don't do politics on this show. I don't think anybody really wants to get into politics on any kind of show, podcast thing. So it's not like we're any different than anybody else, but we're not really getting into politics. And this is kind of a political statement. I don't know where Paul Stanley stands politically, but I thought this was pretty cool. He writes, "It's over. If your candidate lost, it's time to learn from it. Accept it and try to understand why. There will be no building bridges to those you don't agree with by being condescending, insulting, talking at them, or removing yourself. If your candidate won, it's time to understand that those who don't share your views also believe they are right and love this country as much as you do. The enemy is not our fellow Americans. It is anyone and everyone who seeks to divide us." Now,
Well, it's well said.
as I've said before, I kind of beat Paul up often. Not on purpose, but I kind of beat Paul up often. That, to me, is a great statement that probably the politicians should read and listen to more than the people.
I agree.
The only thing that I'll add to his statement and what he's pretty much trying to say is we're not sheep. Don't be sheep.
What I take from it is this: there's a reason it's called the United States it's for a reason, and we're at our best when we're united. Unfortunately, most of the time that we're united is when something bad happens, like 9/11. But I think it was really well said. I mean, and not for nothing, when Paul says something, I don't really think he gives a crap what people think about it. He's pretty strong in his views about a lot of things. That's something he said that I do really like. Well said.
All right. We're going to debut a new segment that Clark Griswold here named the Shout It Out Loud segment. We are not going to do this every episode unless there's something good to do under this. And the Shout It Out Loud segment is going to be subscribers' comment. And I thought this was a pretty bold comment. I don't know whether I agree with him or I disagree with him, but it was a pretty bold comment. And kids, you can't make this shit. This comes from Dick Gazinia. Hey, you can't make it up. So last episode or the episode before that, we had Charles Bronson. And this episode, we're going to have Dick Gazinia. Can't wait for the next episode.
Right.
So Mr. Gazinia, he was commenting, I think, on the Peter Criss episode. On the episode of Peter Criss's solo album. And he says, the Ace Frehley solo album was probably the best studio album ever released with a KISS logo on the cover. It's bold. The Paul Stanley solo album is a distant second, with Gene Simmons' solo record close behind. And the Peter Criss solo record is a complete flop. Now, Mr. Gazinia, you were very kind to Peter Criss by calling it only a complete flop. I think I agree with your order. I just don't think that Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons solo record is that close together. I would say that Ace Frehley and Paul Stanley's solo records are closer together than
I'd agree with that.
Simmons and Paul Stanley. But it was a bold statement, and you like what you like, and that's one of the cool parts of getting subscriber or listener comments.
Well, Mr. Gazinia, I thank you for the comment. Keep them coming.
Yeah, actually, he did. I got a second comment from Mr. Gazinia, so I might as well read that. This was in response to a segment that we put out, a midweek segment that we put out every week, and I don't know which one it was. So you guys can fire me anytime you want. I wonder if I can apply for unemployment. If I get fired by the listeners from this podcast, could I collect unemployment?
I wouldn't hold my breath on that one.
Oh. Thought I'd. Right. Anyway, Mr. Gazinia states, I think KISS lost sight of what made them a supergroup, and that was loud, hard, heavy rock and roll. They got too focused on recording a hit and playing what was popular or the latest trend. Dynasty didn't suck, but it was a step down from their previous 6 records. Creatures of the Night was a great album that would have been even better with Ace and Peter on it. I listened to Unmasked and The Elder at a buddy's house, and after hearing them, never considered buying them for my collection. KISS became pop metal, which did nothing for me. I was a KISS fan since I was a kid in 1975, but once I discovered early Metallica and Slayer, I never thought about KISS again until they put the makeup back on and did the reunion tour. You know what? I think there's a lot of people. He sounds like he's at least, I think he's probably a little older than both of us. And I have a feeling that there's a lot of people right there with him in that opinion.
I like his take on it. I don't agree with it completely. I'm very happy that he's making comments because that's what this is about. Your opinions matter to us. The only thing I disagree with is Ace and Peter on Creatures. Creatures was made perfectly. They didn't need anybody different in that. That's just, again, that's my opinion. But the opinions are what this is all about. So I thank you for that input, and it was well said, and it sounded very, very genuine and honest. So, like I said, keep them comments coming.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Peter was capable of that drum sound.
I'm sure he was not capable of that drum sound.
I mean, I would have.
I'm not a drummer, but nah.
I would have liked to see what Ace could have done, but you know,
we just recently both listened to Creatures, right? And I forgot how good that album was. You introduced me to Saint and Sinner again. That's a phenomenal song. I don't want anybody to change anything about that album.
That's a good point. I can roll with that. Mr. Gazinia, as Clark Griswold just said, you matter to me. And that's why. That's why. Because you matter to me. You're the only reason I need to get by. Get by.
And I'll just say, shout out, you hooligan.
All right. You got me.
What do you got?
It's funny to go from wanting to break everything because nothing will work, thinking matter to me, to Dick Gazinia.
Wow.
Yeah, wow.
That's all I'll say is wow.
I challenge the next good comment. You got to beat Charles Bronson and Dick Gazinia.
Well, the key is, do you want to be a shouted out loud?
Shout it out loud. What?
Do you want to be shouted out loud? Because if it's good enough, we're going to shout you out loud.
You got any music you're listening to?
I do. It's a band that I really like a lot. They got a new album, a new single out that they named called Mayday. The band is 3 Days Grace. One of my favorite songs all time is "I Hate Everything About You" from them. They got a lot of good stuff. So Mayday, if you haven't listened to it, it's a really good song. Their album, the whole album, I believe, is going to come out in January. They don't have a title listed yet for the album name. And I also, it started me listening to their 2022 album a little bit called Explosions. Good songs on that are So-Called Life, The Scar Is Born, No Tomorrow. Yeah, I really dig 3 Days Grace. They got a lot of good music. If you haven't heard Mayday, I'd be surprised. Most people would like it. It's a really good tune. That's what I got for new music.
I have something a little off the beaten path. Shocker. My hero, and at this point he is my hero. My hero, Frankenstein creation, 16 hours ago. So we're filming. It's Wednesday, December 4th, just for all of y'all. And this episode won't go out until I think we said December 20th. So this will definitely be old news by then. But he released a remix and redo of Turn on the Night. So Frankenstein Creations, he remixed the song and he redid the video also. I didn't really notice a lot of changes to the video, but I didn't watch the videos side by side. I love what this guy does. I have to tell you, I'm not crazy about the remix of Turn on the Night. What he did was he tried to be Bon Jovi the song. He took the keyboards out of it. He made a lot of changes to it. Like, I know where he was going with it, but he doesn't add things from outside the band when he does this. So I'm not crazy about it. I like the first version better. But I just like what he does. I mean, even when he does things when he redid Hotter Than Hell,
I listened to it. It was awesome. He did a great job of that.
he absolutely made Hotter Than Hell better.
What was noticeable big time to me, and I know you're going to back this up, is the drums and the cymbals are completely different sound. It really changed the sound of the album.
There isn't that dark, muddy sound on Hotter Than Hell anymore. It's crisp, it's clear, it's much better. But it comes down to taste too.
Right.
So, I can't say that it was my favorite song, that Turn on the Night was my favorite song or anything, because it isn't and it wasn't. I just like their version because it's a fuller version. When you take the keyboards out of it, you can't replace it with anything. So it's a more hollow sound to me.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I mean, the dude's amazing with what he does either way.
Well, listen, I mean, Hotter Than Hell, I mean, it was an overall consensus that it was a rushed, not well produced album. And after listening to everything he did to all those songs, I mean, it's a shame that KISS can't grab it. I mean, it's a little late, but it's a shame that it can't get re-sent out. In this day and age, it wouldn't make a difference, but it's totally different. Me and you have loved a lot of those songs. After listening to his versions of them, it's day and night, really.
Yeah, most definitely. And look, he doesn't appear to be slowing down in any way. He's churning these things out at this point because I think it hit. Like he somewhat went viral. I think.
But give him his props again too. What was his name again?
Frankenstein Creations is his YouTube channel. It's
And
a
he's
great it's a great listen whether you like it or not. And it's the music video. So it's not like it's a waste of time. And if you don't like that middle to late 80s, for lack of a better term, pop metal sound that everybody was pretty much in, he de-pop metalizes it. I'm not sure that de-pop metalize is a word.
sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it might be a shirt. Anyway, I got two other little things, very little things. I'm sure most.
Real
What are we?
quick. No, I just want to give you props too. I did listen to him on Third Side of the Coin, and he gives you a little bit of a bio of where his music taste came from and everything like that. So I recommend watching their episode on that too.
Oh, I recommend going to Three Sides of the Coin, hitting the subscribe button, and listening to them every week. I mean, I'll tell you right now, I do.
Well, like I said, it was interesting listening to his history because I don't know if you remember me telling you on the phone, like he likes the Elder,
Mhm.
and what he did to Hotter Than Hell, you wouldn't expect him to like the Elder, which we haven't got to yet, but he really praised the song The Oath a lot. So again, the history behind him and his musicianship and everything like that, it's interesting just to see how, what he evolved to. I don't think he's doing the musician thing anymore, but he's doing a lot of mad scientist stuff behind the scenes doing stuff. So
Yeah, I think he does a great job. I think them guys over at Three Sides of the Coin do a great job. Look, they were the inspiration for me to think up this great idea. I watched them every week and had opinions, and sometimes those opinions were similar to theirs, and sometimes those opinions were completely different. And I didn't feel as though I had a platform to speak my mind. So I made one. And I dragged your ass in a garage to start.
right.
Anyway, the only other two things I have is the other day was the 1 year anniversary of the alleged alleged final KISS show, and both Paul and Gene put out a statement. They put out a video statement. They put it out in writing. Sure, it must be out there somewhere in Braille also. And all it really is doing is thanking the fans and promising that KISS is not done. And everything that I hear around the internet rumor mill is nothing has happened in 2024, but hold on for 2025 because there's a lot of things that are planned. What they are, who the hell knows? I mean, with a partnership or with Pop House or with selling everything, nobody really knows whether there's actually a partnership or they just sold it all or whatever the hell it is. It's just that shit's coming out in 2025, supposedly.
Nothing about that is surprising with their entrepreneurial spirit. I can't see them maybe not dancing on stage with 60 pounds of stuff, but I can't see them just sitting on their hands. I can't see that engine in their brains like slowing down. So it's sure to be interesting. That's for sure.
The other thing that I had was it's on Kiss's YouTube page. YouTube, it's on Kiss's YouTube channel. They put this out 2 days ago. It's the final show recap from MSG December 2nd of 2023. It's kind of cool. It's a final show recap. It's like every song. It's just a short clip of every song,
Okay.
and it's just a recap. It's like 20 minutes long, maybe
Okay.
something like that. It's just newsworthy. I saw the final show pay-per-view originally, and I'm sure the entire show is all over YouTube. Anybody hasn't seen anything and wants to see a shortened version, Kiss's YouTube channel. It's about a 20-minute clip. It was kind of cool to watch. So just to recap, we don't know what we're doing. We've never done this before. This was something that popped into my head, and I can't say that it ever progressed completely out of my head because it hasn't yet, but I'm sure it will on camera while we're doing this. 5 of our listeners sent in videos answering some questions. With that being said, we're going to play our first video, which is my daughter and her friend, my youngest daughter and her friend. They are both 17 years old.
Hi, I'm Tori.
I'm Izzy.
We're both from New Jersey. I started listening to KISS when I was really little because my dad would always play in the car. When did you start listening?
Yeah, the same. When I was little.
Yeah, okay. My favorite KISS member is Gene Simmons. I think, he's really cool. What about you?
Me too.
Yeah? Yeah, okay. My favorite song is I Was Made for Loving You. It's a great song.
I'd say my favorite song is I Still Love You because it's just beautiful.
My favorite album is Dynasty. Good album.
My favorite album, Creatures of the Night, is fire.
My favorite KISS moment was when Gene Simmons dated Cher. I thought that was pretty cool. And what was yours?
I liked when they didn't wear makeup because I thought that it was pretty transformative to their music.
My favorite piece of KISS merch is my dad has like a lava lamp, and it's like a KISS lava lamp. It's really cool. I like that.
I have a shirt. It's pretty cool as well. I got it a while ago, and I love it.
So yeah. Merry Christmas.
Happy Hanukkah.
Bye, guys.
Merry Christmas, girls. Great job. I actually really like that. Obviously I was made for loving you. I love that song. So that was a cool thing for Victoria to say. And it was interesting. Her friend's name is what's her friend's name?
Her friend's name is Izzy.
I liked her take on 2 things, actually. I liked that she likes the Creatures album. And I also enjoyed how her take on when they took the makeup off and how she eloquently spoke about it. I really thought that was really well said.
Yeah, I did too. And I can only speak of my kid, but my children were all indoctrinated into the KISS world at a very young age. They all went to the End of the Road tour and saw KISS at least once. Now, when KISS reunites in whatever form they do, which I'm not saying that this is going to happen because I don't think it's going to happen, but if they did, we'd all go back and see them again, I'm sure. There's a very good chance Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley could be running around on stage in walkers, and we would all go to see the show.
Yeah. But on that note, my daughter was indoctrinated also. I never got a chance to take her to see KISS live, which you're very lucky with that, being able to take your daughters to it. One of the things that I was able to do, though, because I used to sing Beth to my daughter to get her to go to sleep when she was really little. And being that, I'm a performer, the 1 week at Alpha Wave Studios in Whippany, where I do open mics every once in a while on Wednesdays when they have a Wednesday open mic, we went on stage and sang Beth a cappella, me and her.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was a fun memory. Gets me teary-eyed.
Very cool. Don't. This is not the kind of podcast that you cry on.
Yeah, we can move on.
Let's play the next one.
All right.
So Rodney, I've known for a long time. The best way I can explain it to you is we were both Tigers.
And what he means by Tigers, they were both football players. for the
Uh,
Dover Tigers.
yeah, so 86. So Rodney's probably maybe 8, 9 years older than me. And Rodney is a subscriber to the channel. He's also an active member of our Facebook group. So if you want to get involved in our Facebook group, all you got to do is go on Facebook and search Hooligan Nation, the KISS-Centric podcast. And it's an open group right now. So you can just join.
All right. So this is Rodney Lane, and I'm going to hit play.
Hello, my name is Rod Lane, originally from Dover, New Jersey. I became a KISS fan in 1978 because it was introduced to me by a friend named Brad Beam, who was in my class in Dover, New Jersey at Academy Street School. He brought KISS record in, and that changed my life forever. My favorite member is Paul Stanley. Growing up, Peter Criss was my favorite member for many years, college years, maybe Gene Simmons, but as a grown man and after looking at the whole body of work and different things, attitude, etc., I got to go with Paul Stanley. My favorite KISS song is Detroit Rock City. Get up. Everybody wants to move their feet. Get down. Everybody's going to leave their seat. The words weren't exactly right, but you know what I mean. My favorite KISS album is Love Gun, starting with I Stole Your Love, ending with Then She Kissed Me. Brings back so many memories of Dover, New Jersey, man. 8 tracks, matter of fact. Love Gun. My favorite KISS moment was the KISS reunion show, Dick Clark's Rockin' Eve in 1997. National TV, the original lineup was reunited. Magic. My favorite KISS merchandise or memorabilia. I had all KISS all KISS books were signed by the original members. They have some smoke damage because I had a fire, but they still exist, so I do still have those. But my favorite of all is the original KISS dolls from Mego, 1978. Unfortunately, they were destroyed in a house fire, but KISS dolls, 1978, off the charts. Greatest KISS memorabilia of all time. And finally, I want to wish everybody a Merry, Merry KISSmas, rock and roll all night, and party every day. And I still got the guns.
Well, Rodney, thank you for the KISSmas wish. Very interesting history there. This is a lot of fun hearing that. The KISS dolls, I had always wanted to get them. I never got them. I don't know, Ant, did you ever get the KISS dolls?
I believe I had a Peter Criss KISS doll, but I was a kid. I destroyed it, and I'm sure it's gone.
Do you remember the jingle? It had a really cool jingle on the commercial when they advertised those.
Yeah.
I forget how the jingle goes. Anybody knows who the jingle? Put it in the comments because I forget how the jingle goes. But
Kid, that's the name. Kid, that ain't looking thing. Kid, it's about your game. And kid,
this is KISS. Each sold separately, and you can put them in any crazy pose you want.
that's the name. Kid, they ain't looking thing. Kid, it's about your game. And kid,
KISS.
really cool, Rodney. I appreciate your feedback and your input. Glad you're one of the hooligans. What else you got, Ant, for that?
I thought the coolest part, the most interesting part of his video to me was his favorite member of KISS has changed over the years.
That's interesting. Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know of anybody else. I'm sure they're out there, but I can only speak for me. Like, I can remember seeing Peter Criss's makeup and being like, "Oh, that's my favorite member." And even though he has acted like an asshat more than once in his life, he's still my favorite member. They're still really in the order that they were probably when I was 7 or 8 years old. It's Peter, Ace, Gene, and Paul. I don't think it's ever changed from that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. You know, as he got older, his perspective changed.
I think
mean, in my defense, I am still a 9-year-old. So
and I think us guys, most guys are in a lot of ways. For me, the members, it's always been Gene Simmons, but I think over time I've valued members a little bit differently. And I said this to you last week in the last episode. Bruce Kulick's my second favorite member. Just because of some of the stuff that some of the other guys have done. And I just respect Bruce and what he's brought to the table the whole time. But I mean, I love them all. There's times I'll throw shade at certain areas of things with, Paul's comments and how he throws people under the bus, but doesn't change the way, I feel about the band ever. I love this band and I love the members. Nobody goes through life without some skeletons in the closet and stuff. So.
well, I agree with that. I had to put a garage door on my closet. Well, anyway, thank you, Rodney, for the video.
Yes, thank you.
And
we're off to the next Hooligan.
And Dover Tigers for life, baby.
Should we move on to Victor?
Sure.
All right. So next is Victor Ruiz. Would you like to say something before we hit play, or just go for it?
Victor Ruiz is the man behind the podcast and YouTube channel Signals from Mars. If you're coming into the Hooligan Nation and this is your first podcast you're listening to or your first YouTube video that you're watching, go back to, I believe it's episode 7. Victor was a guest on episode 7. We discussed the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Victor's been doing his podcast for, I think, almost 10 years now. Victor, I actually have known longer than I knew Rodney. Victor and I used to play baseball together when we were wee little lads. Wee little lads. Yes. Expanding my vocabulary.
There you go.
Yeah, so check out Victor, check out Signals from Mars, and check out his video right now.
Yeah, and last thing I'll say before I hit the video, he was very welcomed on our show and a very wealth of knowledge, and it's appreciated. So,
oh yeah, and he'll be back on the show.
Absolutely,
there's no doubt.
All right, so we're gonna hit play on the video.
Hey everyone, this is Victor M. Ruiz from Signals from Mars. I'm currently located overseas in Spain, as many of you may know, and I became a KISS fan when I was 4 years old. I got to see my brother's copy of Alive 2. They had I believe it was called The Evolution of KISS. Inside there was a booklet, and I have it somewhere behind me. Just couldn't find it, shredded to all hell. Anyway, there was a picture of Ace, kind of combined everything I was into at the time. It was superheroes and combined with music. And I was like, oh, wow, this is just so awesome. Favorite KISS song is Creatures of the Night. Favorite KISS album is Creatures of the Night. Just that emotional connection. I talk about this on Signals from Mars all the time, how music connects with you emotionally in different points in time in your life. It's a snapshot of that point in time in your life. When you hear it, it makes you think back to, hey, this happened, that happened. Turns out there's an important event in my life when I was gifted that album. And the lyrics of that song have always kind of spoken to me. Favorite KISS memorabilia. Well, I've got the Creatures box set over my shoulder here. That's cool. It took me a while to get it. I've got in the other room a bunch of KISS figures, and I've got the KISS box set. Got a bunch of KISS figures still at my folks' house in Dover. Hope that I can get a hold of that at one point again. Who knows? And what else? I kind of showed this to Tony and John the last time. I picked this up while in the States, a Lids exclusive. Kind of cool. KISS logo in the back, KISS sticker, and oh yeah, if you've seen the under the brim already, yeah, the original cover. So awesome, love it. I've only worn it twice because I don't want to ruin it, man. Anyway, season's greetings to everyone. Hope you have a great holiday, and hope you guys continue to be hooligans. See ya.
All right. So what I have for that is Creatures of the Night is his favorite album and favorite song. That's definitely an album that's definitely with their older albums, it's definitely for me and obviously for Victor and I think for you, it's right up there with some of the best albums they've ever done. And the other thing that kind of resonates with me, and I know it definitely resonates with you, is these guys were superheroes to us when we were kids. And
What do you mean when we were kids?
well, and they still, I guess, still are. And that hat, initially when I first saw that hat, I wanted that hat. So at some point, if I ever see that hat, I want that. But I appreciate Victor taking the time to shoot the video. I wish him a wonderful holiday season and Christmas. And again, thank you for doing the video.
Thank you, Victor, for doing the video. I think history, the longer time goes on, I think Creatures of the Night, the album, will keep moving up to KISS fans. It seems as time goes on, that album keeps getting more popular and more popular. So he's definitely not wrong. Creatures of the Night box set, I don't own it, but I have seen it. The KISS baseball hat I'd never seen anywhere. So I thought that was kind of cool. That's part of the reason why we put that question in there, because everybody has different kinds of stuff that's kind of important to them. I mean, I didn't expect my youngest daughter to put a lava lamp. I didn't. I mean, I think I got much cooler shit than that. But she likes the lava lamp. So that's part of the cool thing about this. And then Rodney pulls out the original KISS dolls.
Right.
You know, so far so good. All right. What do you got next?
All right, let's go to Kylie. All right. So before I hit play, who is Kylie, Aunt?
Kylie is my oldest daughter. And if anybody was super indoctrinated into KISS world, it was her. She was so indoctrinated that less than 24 hours after she was born, the two of us were on our way to a KISS concert.
This is very true.
Yeah, it wasn't very popular with the nurses in the hospital when I came back to the hospital at like 2 a.m. They were not very happy with me. But, you know.
But Kylie, if you think about it, in spirit, you were at your first KISS concert before you were even 1 year old. In spirit, at least.
I believe that Kylie went to her first KISS concert in utero. So she was at Madison Square Garden during the reunion concert.
Okay. Well, listen, either way, KISS is a very big part of your foundation from the time you were born, Kylie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think she would agree with that.
So on that note, should we hit play?
Absolutely.
All right, here we go.
Hi, my name is Kylie. I'm from Dover, New Jersey. And when it comes to KISS, I feel like my first ever introduction to them was through my dad playing them in the car. Same as I kind of feel like I more so just kind of grew up listening to them through my parents. I think that if I had to pick a favorite song, I would have a top two, which would be Detroit Rock City, just because I think it is so upbeat, along with How Is It Not Possible to jam to it. Same as Every Time I Look at You, just because it's such a sweet and soft song, especially for such a hardcore band. So I think it was kind of really exciting for them to have such a heartwarming song. But wise of my favorite band member, I have to say I think it would be Peter Criss, because he was the cat, and I am a huge cat fan, along with, out of everybody's kind of outfit, I really liked his the best, to be transparent. And as a whole, I hope everybody has a happy and warm holiday, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this as a whole. Thank you.
Well, Kylie, I wish you a very very merry KISSmas. Thank you for taking the time to do it. I really like how she has one hard rockin' classic Kiss song, and then she has Every Time I Look at You, which is it's unique. I like that she did that, and there's no way, shape, or form that I would not know that Peter Criss was her favorite, because I know she loves cats. So again, Kylie, thank you again for doing that.
And I trained her well.
Well, yes, her father happens to be the Catman fan too, so
I trained her well, and I made her a well-rounded Kiss fan. One makeup song, one non-makeup song. It's 2024, dude. You got to be politically correct. If we left out the non-makeup era, somebody would complain.
yeah.
Meow. Meow.
Meow. Oh, that's what you're looking for. Meow.
What do you got next?
Peter's very well represented. So the last one we have before we make our things here is my sister, your cousin, Angel. I have to go to a different section here, so bear with me here. All right. Samantha Angel Vinay. This is her video.
Hi, I'm Angel. I'm originally from Dover, New Jersey, and currently live in Bridgewater, New Jersey. I've been a KISS fan for over 40 years. It all started in the early 80s, once upon a time, when a redheaded boy came to live in Dover and introduced us to new music. We got hooked on KISS. We, meaning my brother and my cousin, we got hooked on listening to this music together. We loved to lip sync to it. We liked making crazy videos with the big VHS recorders of us, being the band. Anthony was Ace Frehley, I was Peter Criss, Johnny was Gene, and we would sing songs. And the best memory is when Anthony put cherry bombs in his guitar and it got on fire, and instead of my mother continuing to videotape it, she put the camera down so we couldn't see it. And then I think eventually it was taped over for soap operas. So yeah, that was a great memory. But yeah, almost every day we were singing songs, lip syncing, and doing that stuff, which was really cool. My favorite member of KISS is Peter Criss. I dressed up as him multiple times for the several farewell tours. And my favorite song, I would say, was Hard Luck Woman. My favorite album is probably Lick It Up. But there's just so many good songs, and again, these songs are attached to memories, which is just wonderful. It's one of the reasons why I'm enjoying watching the podcast, because and the YouTube channel, because Hooligan Nation, watching it is kind of making me reminisce on these songs, and I'm really enjoying it. So continue to do good work. I do have to say, with Peter Criss though, great singer, but man, that solo album was rough. Anyway, again, Johnny and Anthony, continue to do this podcast, because it's a lot of fun. And Merry KISSmas, everyone. Take care.
All right, so a lot to unpack there. Obviously, that's my sister and your cousin. We were like brothers and sisters back then, and we still are to this day. The memory she talks about, I'll just add to, and you can definitely add to too. You had a guitar that you stuck cherry. If you didn't catch that, he had stuck cherry bombs into this guitar. You're probably like 10, I would say, at this time. And in the backyard, we had a demolition company, and they had an empty flatbed trailer that we all stood on and pretended that we were KISS. Again, I was Gene, she was Peter, and Anthony was Ace. I think you even burnt your hand with the smoke bombs, if I remember correctly. They had an old school big camcorder that my mother would videotape. And I have to put the punctuation to the end of that because we were excited we were going to be able to see that at some point, and she recorded Days of Her Lives over it. So yeah, Hard Luck Woman, one of my favorite all-time KISS songs, period. It's one of those songs that I think I told you on episodes in the past that it's a song that you can't not like. I've never heard anybody say anything bad about that song. So she made a good choice on that one. And I was surprised to hear Lick It Up was her favorite album, which I like it a lot, but in a way I kind of understand it because we got introduced right at the non-makeup era. It's probably the album she listened to the most, probably, I would think. Haynes, thank you very much for doing it. I know you were shy and you were thinking about getting a little nervous, but I think you did a great job. And Merry KISSmas, and we're gonna be spending the holiday together. So great memories. That's another thing about KISS. It brings up so many memories, so many songs bring up so many memories. Thinking about Lick It Up right now, I actually remember a Christmas video. I got long hair, or actually what you would call a mullet at the time. And I remember in the video, I'm wearing a KISS Lick It Up shirt in the video, and I'm about as obnoxious as can be. So it's another KISS memory thinking about that when she said Lick It Up. So I just thinking of that. So, but thanks again. You Hooligan. And what do you got, Ant?
Part of the reason why I wanted to do this episode was kind of to be able to go back in the past. And so far, what I got out of your sister's video is, why was it always me that had to do the crazy, dangerous thing? I don't remember anybody else doing any of that.
I waited till I was a teenager to do crazy shit, stupid stuff.
I started earlier. I mean,
yeah,
filling your guitar with cherry bombs and then lighting it and it exploding all over the place.
Here's the kicker to that, and then I'll shut up. It was probably dangerous, and here my mother's videotaping you.
The funny part is I never saw that videotape, I don't think.
Neither did I.
But I can remember when I lit the fuse on that as a 10-year-old. And I don't know that I was 10. I'm thinking maybe I was more like 11 or 12. But I could have been 10. But 10, 11, 12 years old, I lit that fuse, and when the guitar exploded, it caught on fire, and I was going to burn to death. And your mother was screaming behind the video, and you're screaming at her, just keep taping. It was great. It's great.
Well, that's some vivid memory there, bud.
I mean, I got to tell you, if that video existed right now, it would be our intro. We wouldn't need anything else.
That's a definite.
That would be our intro. Hey, KISS Army, we work hard on this podcast and try to give you the best content possible. If you like what we do, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. Also, the podcast is now on all the podcast platforms, so please like and follow us there and give us some 5-star reviews. It really helps us out.
And while you're there, let us know if there's any KISS-related subjects you would like us to cover in the future episodes, and helps us build the Hooligan community.
All right, that all we got?
Yeah.
We go through all 5 of them?
We got Rodney, Victor, Kylie, Tori, and my sister.
All right. I guess you're up.
All right. So I'm John, also known as Rocco, from Dover, New Jersey. When did I become a KISS fan? It's that same redheaded, long-haired, metalhead kid that came into our lives. Your brother, he was around 16 years old.
This guy gets so much press not being on the show He's like, who was the guy from um Charlie's Angels? He's like Charlie.
The Phantom. He's the Phantom in the air.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm grateful that he introduced us to this music. I mean, I can remember him trying to like quiz me on like playing a song that's kind of creepy, and I'm getting off the beaten path here, and it was an Ozzy song, like being able to pick that out, like. But the Kiss stuff, I'm very glad he introduced us to it. I was probably 13 or 14 when he came. Again, he's your oldest brother, your only brother. But so that's where I was introduced. My favorite member, it's not a secret, everybody knows, Gene Simmons, and then Bruce Kulick's after that. Favorite song, the favorite song changes for me because there's so many songs I like from so many different albums, so many different eras. But if I had to pick one, it has to be "Come On and Love Me" because that's what got me started with this band. My favorite album is Dynasty, with a close tie for second of the first album and Creatures of the Night. My favorite moment, visually from afar, is definitely the Unplugged. But my favorite moment's going to my first Kiss concert with you. It's doesn't nothing compares. When you go to your first Kiss concert, you'll never forget it. It was a spectacle. It made me fall in love with the band. I was mesmerized by a lot of the stuff that was going on in the show. And we seen them, even though, they weren't wearing makeup, they were, and they're still peaking physically. So they were all over the freaking place. I remember, explosions all over the place. I mean, they spare no expense to put on the most incredible show. And my love of this band grew and grew and grew. And then, I kind of tuned out for a while within the last couple of years of their, the end of the road, before the end of the road and stuff. And you kind of ignited it back in me again. And I love this band. It made me realize how much I do. And, going back in history and listening to this stuff has made me realize how much I do love this band. It's the core of music of everything I listen to. And I mean, I listen to everything from Elvis all the way up. So,
Oh, you got merch or memorabilia or anything?
yeah, I actually have 3 comic books. And 2 of them were actually, I got 2 things. I got 3 comic books. 2 are in my attic. I got to find that actually have their series where they put Kiss. They supposedly put their blood in the magazines. I don't fully know because it's still in plastic. I never even opened it. And then I have a lava lamp that Gary, my cousin, gave me when I was, I don't even know when. It's a lava lamp with each member's faces. You spin the lava lamp. It's ceramic, and you spin it, and it's got each one of them. There were only 476 of them made, and I got one of them. And I've had it forever.
I highly doubt that. I'm just saying.
That's what it says. But.
If all 476 of them sold, Gene and Paul would have them make another 476.
Well, it'd probably be a different series, though. But yeah, I mean, but yeah, I'm not a big collector. Obviously, my father was a huge collector with all kinds of stuff. I'm not a big collector, but I do those magazines and the I think I had the dolls at one point. I think it was like Kiss. That's the name, Kiss. They're insane, or right? Is that how the jingle went? Yep. But yeah. I do feel like I had a couple of the figures at some point, but I also had Evil Knievel, so I probably made him explode. But yeah.
So you had the Kiss dolls explode the Evil Knievel doll?
I may have had like a motorcycle with Evil Knievel like collide into them and then all explode. I don't know. When I go up in the attic at some point, I may get a couple surprises.
Oh, all right. I hope those are good surprises for you.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Hope there isn't like a body up there or anything.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah. All right. Does that mean that I'm up?
I would say you are up. You should step up to the mic.
So
who are you?
First off, yeah, if you don't know who I am by now, yeah, I know. I think I was 8 or 9 when I became a Kiss fan. Yes, that unknown, unseen, unheard of redhead come in, and he absolutely indoctrinated me I can't remember. Like, I have no conscious memory of like the first Kiss song that I ever heard or any of that. I really wish that I'm sure there's pictures out there, but I gotta find a picture of what our bedroom looked like. Maybe 82, 83, 84. It was wall to wall Kiss pictures, wall to wall. There was no paint left that you could see. We had covered all the walls, I believe the ceiling, the doors, everything was covered in Kiss pictures. So like when we went at it, we went at it.
Well, you had Hit Parader and Circus Magazine always giving stuff out of there too, right? Photos coming from there, right?
That's where they all came from.
Right.
I mean, there were posters, but most of them were pictures that came out of Hit Parader, Circus, Cream.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
What's
Kerrang? Kerrang was one too.
Kerrang.
Yeah, Kerrang.
You know, shout out to Carmen's Luncheonette because that's where I used to get all my magazines.
That's where I got my comic books.
Yeah, went and got my magazines from there every Friday, and then got me some penny candy, and went on my way. But that's I was 8 or 9, I think, and it went full force right from the beginning. And then my favorite Kiss song is probably "I Stole Your Love."
Good song.
My favorite Kiss album is Love Gun, but Creatures of the Night is crawling up on Love Gun every minute. My biggest Kiss moment, boy, I was thinking about this last night. My first thought was the Animalize concert, our first concert. And then my second thought was Unplugged, but nothing compares to the reunion, Madison Square Garden. Like, not when the 4 original members of Kiss, when I saw them live for the first time in full makeup on that stage, it was a little bit of a life-changing experience, because being as young as I was, and look, I am what I am, and I have been my entire life. I am not an optimist. I'm more of a realist. I did not, at that time, I did not think they were ever going to get reunited. I mean, now looking back, there's no doubt in my mind that they were going to reunite, because as an 8 and 9-year-old, you don't understand money. As a
That's for sure.
50-year-old, you understand that money plays into it all. And knowing all the things that I know now about Ace and Peter not having the money and Kiss not doing good. But at the time, I didn't think they were ever going to put the makeup back on. I didn't think they were ever going to reunite. And then all of a sudden, Unplugged happens. And then the press conference happens. And then I got tickets, and I think we were like 13th row, center stage. Trust me, I could not afford the tickets. I can't remember how much the tickets cost, but I know they weren't cheap. Had to be 1996, I think. And
Probably three, 4 bills, probably.
I'm thinking it was probably around that. Probably. So, what else? What did I miss? I have anything
Favorite album? Oh, you said
No,
favorite Love Gun, right? You covered most of the stuff.
I just got memorabilia left, right?
Yes.
All right, hold on. All right, so I'm not a big collector either. I wouldn't consider myself a big collector, but what I have here is my prized possession, which is a original KISS lunchbox. My proudest thing in the entire world is the fact that I have the original KISS
You got the
thermos with
thermos
it,
too. Wow.
and I think that nobody. And what's cool about this to me is this isn't something that I bought as an adult collector, as you can tell, because it's pretty beat up. This is my original KISS lunchbox from when I was a kid. I can't remember who bought it from me,
I remember when they got where they got it from.
but
James Way.
I think I got this at ShopRite. If you can see, it does say it's from 1977. So it is
Maybe it was ShopRite. I thought you got it. I thought they got it from James Way.
No, I think I got this from ShopRite. So that's probably my most prized, and I thought this was cool. I got this at a KISS convention. Oh, probably in the early 2000s, one of the New York, New Jersey KISS conventions. There's some Russian dolls. I don't know exactly what they are, but the cool thing about this is inside of it is a little Paul Stanley one. And inside of that one is a little Peter Criss one. And I don't know where the Ace Frehley one is right now, but
That's
I
pretty
have
wild.
I have an Ace Frehley one too. I just don't know where it is. I might have put that somewhere else. But yeah, I don't know why. Like I'm sure somebody handmade this. I don't remember it costing me a lot of money at the convention, but I thought this was cool. It was original. I had never seen them before. And for that matter, I'd never seen them after that. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
You got anything else?
No, this was a lot of fun. I just want to wish everybody a very Merry KISSmas out there. Happy, safe one. Hope you get everything you want from Santa Claus. And ho, ho, ho.
Where? We'd like to thank everybody for supporting us in season 1. Season 1 is about to come to a close, and there will be a season 2 because we're having way too much fun. Cut it off at season 1. So thank y'all for supporting us. Help us grow, please. Share us. Download the podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, please. It helps us out incredibly. It ain't like we're making any money doing this.
Hey, one more thing.
Spending money.
One more thing too. We said KISSmas, but to all you hooligans out there, also happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah. What's some of the other ones? Happy holidays, period.
Don't forget the Canadians. Happy Boxing Day.
That's a thing?
That's a thing.
I didn't know that. Well, happy Boxing Day.
Yeah. I don't know exactly what the thing is, but I mean, I don't know.
They put anything on a tree?
The boxing gloves. Yo, if any of y'all celebrate Boxing Day or know what Boxing Day is, drop it in the comments below and educate us, because I can't say that I know much about Boxing Day other than it comes up on my iPhone calendar every year, and I look at my calendar wondering what Boxing Day is.
Hey, you said that we're getting some hooligans from Australia, so I want to say Aussie, Aussie, Aussie.
Yeah, we might as well bring that up here. big shout out, huge shout out to the Australian listeners. You're so for those of you that don't know, through the podcast, we get a lot of analytics. And I believe that Australia represents the second biggest group of listeners, and it is Australia. You are 30% of our listeners of the podcast. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, trust me when I tell you this, slide over to YouTube and check out the video format. If you're not doing that for all of our listeners, we put in a lot of work to do the YouTube video. So look, if you're on the go and because of that you're listening to the podcast, that's great. But when you get the time, slide over to the YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button because we need that. And watch the videos. We try to put a lot of graphics into the videos. We put a lot of pictures in there. Some video, some canned video and stuff like that. But we try to make it as interesting as possible. I mean,
What do they say in Australia? Good day, mate.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Aussie.
Whatever y'all say in Australia, I'm with you right there.
We appreciate you.
And we all know that your favorite Kiss song is Shandy. And you know what? I like Shandy too. So thank you to all our Australian listeners. And look, you're not the only ones. United States listeners take up 54%, but Australia is second with 30%. So let's keep building the podcast internationally, and let's see where we can take that thing.
Yeah, bring on more hooligans.
All right, with that all being said, I think we've done what we could do for today. Thank you for coming out and listening or watching our first ever KISSmas special.
1, 2, 3.
Merry KISSmas!
Merry KISSmas!
Hey, Curly! Don't ever forget, if it's too loud, you're too old. Peace out, nation. This video premieres on December 20th, which happens to be Peter Criss's birthday. So happy birthday to the one and only Catman. Thank you for giving us all the enjoyment of watching and listening to you for all these years. On behalf of the entire Hooligan Nation, we wish you many, many more. Enjoy your birthday, Catman.